Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Clutter. I'm your host, Margo Staten, a professional organizer specializing in chronic clutter. And Happy New Year to you. It's officially 2025, and I'm so excited to kick off the year with you. Whether decluttering is part of your New Year's resolution or you're just ready for a fresh start, today's episode is here to help. We're diving into 7 easy ways to declutter your home in 2025 to set you up for success, one small step at a time. So let's get into these 7 tips. They're simple, actionable, and designed to keep things stress-free, just the way I like them. So tip number 1 should not surprise you, and it is to start small. I am all about bite-sized decluttering. I like sprints. I'm not a big fan of marathon. So start small. Begin with just one drawer, one shelf, maybe a box in the corner of the room, maybe a handful of beauty products. You don't have to tackle your entire home at once. You don't have to take in the big picture. Yes, we have clutter. Yes, some rooms are more cluttersome than others. But if we start taking in and kind of doing an inventory of just how much clutter we have, it becomes incredibly overwhelming. And what does that lead to? The dreaded procrastination. So starting small builds momentum and helps you avoid overwhelm. And remember, progress is progress. There's no such thing as perfection. There's nobody putting pressure on you about how much you have to get done. If you know somebody that's dedicating like 8 hours a week to decluttering and you're like, oh my goodness, there's no way I can do that, that's perfectly fine. You are unique. You have your own life. You have your own priorities. So as long as you start, and starting small is one of the easiest and best ways to increase motivation and see progress. Tip number 2, use the 1 in, 1 out rule. I live and breathe this rule. It is not my rule. However, I love it. I think it's so incredibly impactful. And this is simply, if you're bringing in something new into your home, commit to letting go of something old. So for example, if you buy a new pair of shoes, donate or toss the older pair. If you brought in a brand new sweater, get rid of an existing sweater. The holidays just passed, so whether you celebrate Kwanzaa or Christmas or Hanukkah or any of the other holidays and you received gifts, right? And it becomes a duplicate. Let go of something else. So practice the 1 in, 1 out rule. This is more of a lifestyle. So kind of incorporate this into your habit. You bring something brand new in, you part with something else, and this will maintain a clutter-free home and only takes a second of your time. Tip number 3, the 15-minute rule. So you want to set a timer for 15 minutes a day or every other day or twice a week or 3 times a week, whatever works for you. You want to set an alarm, 15 minutes in your phone. I actually encourage you to label the alarm in your Android or in your iPhone that literally says decluttering time. So whether it's your desk, your kitchen counter, your bedside table, whatever it is that you've decided to declutter, have an alarm goes off, and then you literally declutter for 15 minutes. Short bursts of decluttering are manageable and incredibly effective. 15 minutes goes a long way, especially when it's 15 minutes of uninterrupted focus time. And here's the best part. Oftentimes, I promise you, you'll end up going past the 15 minutes. But setting an alarm and setting a time that's incredibly easy to do and is very, very reasonable, such as 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, is going to get you started, going to get you rolling up your sleeves and purging your space. A great hack, actually, if you're somebody who's like, well, I don't really know what to start, what to do, and I want to see results and I want to see progress, or maybe you're somebody that feels like maybe you've decluttered in the past, but you're not really seeing the results. So here is a hack for you. Part with larger items first. This will give you that biggest wow factor. So eliminate, a blender, an extra chair, a rug, an old mirror, a painting, a coffee table. Getting rid of the larger items in your space gives you the biggest impact. Tip number 4, and this has a lot to do if you are somebody who has decision fatigue and you're like, I'm not sure if I should part with this, or maybe you're somebody that struggles with the just in case fallacy. What if I need this 5 years from now? Here's tip number 4 is for you, and it is to tackle duplicates. Look for items that you have multiples of, but you don't actually need, like, I don't know, an extra spatula or, water bottles. If there are 2 people in your house, do you need 10 water bottles? Or maybe older towels, maybe actually tie it into the one in, one out, right? Maybe you just received brand new towels for the holidays. Let go of your old towels. You can donate them to a local animal shelter. Tip number 5, this works well for some people, and for some people, it tends to overrun the house. So I'm going to leave it to your discretion. But the caveat to this is if you're the type of person that will end up having too many of these and it's going to end up causing clutter, then don't do it. But for some of us, it works beautifully, especially in the closet. And it is to create a donation box. So you want to keep a designated donation box in your home. And as you come across items you no longer use or need, toss them in the box. Once the box is full, drop it off at a local charity or donation center. And this is why I say if you're somebody that's just going to end up having like 10 boxes in your living room, this is not a good idea. If you can stick with maybe having a donation box by your entryway and it's just one box in one location and you're dropping items in there, that's perfectly fine. I mentioned before, this works great with clothing. If you can put a bin in, let's say, your closet, out of sight, out of mind, and every single time you pull out an item of clothing and you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to wear this shirt or this dress, or like, what was I thinking when I bought this like hot pink sweater? Instead of putting it back on the hanger, which is what a lot of us tend to do, right? Own it. Drop it in the bin. And once that clothing bin is full, then you donate it. Number 6 is probably the most effective decluttering tip of all. It actually has a 93% success rate. And that is get yourself an accountability partner. Find a friend or join a group to share your decluttering goals. I have a free Facebook group available. It's called Declutter Your Life. We offer a lot of support, right? We share our goals, our wins, our struggles. So having someone to check in with you or work alongside you can make the process more fun and keep you motivated. Your decluttering, accountability partner could be a friend, a neighbor, again, somebody you found on social media or in a group. You can even hire a decluttering coach like me. And you're by just merely having that support and maybe on a weekly basis, telling somebody, hey, this is what I've accomplished, right? It commits you to the process. And there's been a lot of research that's been done that when you have an accountability partner, again, your chances of success, of actually purging your home, decluttering, right, achieving that clean and tidy space that you deserve, go up by 93%. That is absolutely incredible. If you do want to work with me to find out more, you can check out the link in the show notes. And finally, tip number 7, you want to focus on your eye twitch spaces first. One of the biggest questions that I get as a home organization and decluttering coach is, Margo, where do I start? And my answer is always the same. You start with your eye twitch spaces. Think about the spaces in your home that bring you the most amount of stress. Typically, this is your entryway or your kitchen or your bedroom or your master closet. And you want to focus your efforts there first. Clearing those areas will give you an immediate sense of relief and accomplishments. The garage and the attic can wait. Okay, so there you have it. 7 easy ways to declutter your home in 2025. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. So, which tip are you going to try first? Let me know by tagging me on Instagram at Be Good to Yourself by Margo, or leaving a comment on this episode. I absolutely love hearing about your wins. Thanks so much for listening. As always, good luck on your decluttering journey, and remember to be good to yourself.